I am going to discuss some content in this video that is content that I have no involvement in. And some people might say, well, you shouldn't be talking about that content because it promotes glamorizing certain activities. Look, you'd be a fool, an ostrich with your head in the sand, if you wanted to deny all the lessons that can be learned through scientific experimentation or events that had happened in history. Okay, if you want to advance your education as much as possible, you need to be willing to look at and learn from certain events in history that you had no involvement in. Events that maybe you totally disapprove of. Back in, I don't know, 1950s or so, there was some wacko sociologist, psychologist that was given two twins. And one of them had a botched circumcision, and he decided to make that individual a female to study how a male or a female, what was gender a social construct? In other words, could they change this person? Unfortunately, when those boys grew up, both of them ended up committing suicide because they were traumatized by all the events that wacko psychologist put them through. I mean, he had them performing sexual events with each other and other things when they were just infants. Okay, it's absolutely disgusting. But now that that's over and said and done with, what can we learn? Well, we could certainly learn from that individual that it didn't work the way he thought it would be. It wasn't quite the social construct that he expected it to be. And we need to go back and look at some of this stuff and realize that even though certain things are presented in that author's writings that tried to suggest his agenda, when those boys grew up, it didn't work out at all like he wrote. So we need to look at the big picture, step away from some of these sensitive matters and ask ourselves, okay, we're not involved in these things. We don't support or condone or approve of these things, but what was learned? And the truth of the matter is some of these wacko events or immoral events offer us a great bit of insight about animal behavior. They also offer us quite a bit of insight about animal genetics. Okay, so let's proceed. Now, why do these mentors take this fake it till you make it? And that is because it's so much easier to fake it till you make it than it is to go out and actually develop the competence that you need to be successful. But who ends up paying for that? It's going to be the customer. The customer ends up not getting what they paid for, and basically what has occurred is theft. I want to read a section from this document that I wrote. Writing out your thoughts is sometimes easier than saying things coherently while you're sitting in front of a camera. So here we go. So as a result of continually witnessing such nonsense, I have learned that external motivation will not drive the change that our community needs. I see motivation has to come from within. We have to go out and seek a desire to learn. Amateurs, they need motivation. Okay, this is 100% true. Amateurs need motivation, but they're not going to make it because they lack it internally and they're going to eventually give up. Professionals, though, different situation. Professionals, they're like a sponge, man. They want to soak up every bit of information that they can. All right, so professionals already have this internal desire to soak up knowledge. And that's what we need. Our community needs the professionals that want to be the best that they can be. So instead of motivating others to do a good job, done with them. Tired of asking people to, come on, man, do what you're supposed to do. I'm done with them. I want to instead find people that want to do what they're supposed to do. That's what I want. People that want to do and accept that gauntlet and are willing to carry their cross, so to speak. All right? These are the people that I want to find. Now, I can tell you from personal experience, I have oftentimes found humor or frustration in trying to do things I was not good at. Okay, there's plenty of things that I need to just hire out and let somebody attend to because I don't have the skill or competence to do that correctly. Now, if it's something that's I can tinker with and get an education with as I go, cool. But if it's going to be an expensive project and it's going to cost me to go out there and get the education to do that right, I might just hire that out. Sometimes it's easier to do that. But when it comes to my profession, I need to find what I enjoy to do and what I'm good at. Now, just like I've done some things in the past that I'm not so good at, and I find it funny or frustrating. There have also been times that I've done things that I am good at, but I just don't enjoy doing them. And that can lead to a person feeling trapped. Nobody wants to live a lifestyle that they feel trapped. There's unfortunately many men who have gotten married before they figured out what they wanted to do in life. They had a kid. They may have gotten married, maybe not. And they found themselves in a career and loaded with responsibilities before they were prepared for that. And because they were not yet prepared, they had to just go into the workforce before they knew what they were going to do. And now they feel trapped because they have dependents that need them. And that can be a tough situation. And believe me, I lived like that for a long time. I really enjoy teaching. I do. I love it. This is what I'm called to do. That's why I still have this YouTube channel. But one thing I cannot stand is trying to teach a group of people that doesn't want to be there. The cool thing about YouTube is you can turn it off. You don't have to be here, all right? But in the classroom, we would have maybe 20 students in the room, and out of the 20 students, maybe 6 of them want to be there, and then maybe another 10 are okay with being there. They'll learn. I mean, they're in the room. They have nothing better to do. They might as well learn. So you have 16 people that are willing to do the job, but then you got 4 that just want to be class clowns, and those class clowns, they totally interfere with the education process. Now, that's not a big deal if those students are fairly manageable, but what's happened is computers have entered the classroom and it's really interfered with the educational process. Kids get on the computer, they get on YouTube, they play video games while the instruction's going on. They don't learn the material, they don't know the material, and then when they fail the test, they want to blame the teacher. Now, before computers came out, I was really successful at teaching. Once computers came out, I saw, okay, even though I love it and I was good at it before, there's now babysitting. I'm having to babysit people that don't want to be in the room. And as a result of that, my proficiency as a teacher declined because I'm good at teaching, in my opinion. You might disagree, but I'm not good at babysitting. You know, if it's just babysitting, if that's all we're doing and there's no lesson plans and things like that, sure, we can go out and play and have fun in the yard, and I can play just as good as any of them. But when it comes to education, I want to be serious. Let's look at the philosophies, the lessons, and not worry about distractions, because there's a time for play, but there's a time for work, all right? And I believe it's best to distinguish between the two. Look, you get to choose to work now and enjoy life later, or enjoy life now and work later. And I chose to work when I was young, because when I was old, I knew I wasn't going to be able to do as good a job, and so I wanted to be able to relax when I got older. And unfortunately, our youth, it feels like they can just get a handout. They don't have to work now or later. All right? So find something that you're good at and also something that you enjoy, and then you will seek to do the job with great ethic, a good work ethic. You'll seek a desire to produce a good product, and you'll seek knowledge to continually try to improve. And you'll seek to get advice from not only the education side, but also the experience side. And you will learn the art and the science and become the best, well-rounded individual in your field, or one of the best, a well-respected individual in your field. But this is only if you find something that you're good at and you like. I could practice singing all I want. I'll never be a singer. So, you know, if I have friends tell me, you're a great singer, but they just don't want to hurt my feelings, that's not doing me any favors, because then it gives me a false sense of success when I have incompetence. Incompetence is a lack of ability, all right? You definitely don't want to choose a profession that you're not good at. All right, so find something that you like and that you're good at, and that will help you amplify that skill to your full potential. Do that and you should succeed. I recommend that you do not get into dogs if you do not absolutely love it, okay? Because if you're just going to get into it thinking that you're going to make a quick buck having a litter here or two because you see other people doing it, you're going to be gone in 5 years, maybe 10 if you're lucky, and your product is going to be terrible and your customers are not going to be satisfied, all right? So a lot of people get into it and they dabble in it and think, well, I just like to talk dogs, okay? I mean, I like to talk dogs. I have nothing better to do with my life, so I'm just going to talk dogs. You can talk dogs with people that don't know dogs, and you're just going to spin in a circle just like a tire spins in the mud. You're not going anywhere, you're not learning anything, and you're not improving any dogs. So if you just want to talk dogs to people that are not competent, hey, by all means do it, but you're not doing the community any favors, okay? So you need to get out there and learn genetics, behavior, husbandry, conditioning, all the aspects that you can as a professional. A lot of these people will breed for money. And some of these people will breed for something else that's just as bad, and that is breeding for ego. I do not breed dogs for my ego. And I say that because there are some people that think that because we breed hog catch dogs and protection dogs. I do not breed dogs for my ego. All right, we'll come to why I breed dogs in just a minute. But it's easy to identify somebody that's breeding dogs for ego because they are going to use things that promote worldly possessions in their advertising. You'll see music in their music videos. You'll see fancy cars. You'll see women in bikinis. You'll see firearms. You'll see advertising that shows worldly possessions to promote and endorse that egotistical lifestyle. That possession, monetary goods, mammon. Man cannot love God and mammon. Okay, you get to serve one master. You get to choose. Okay, I'm choosing to serve the Lord. If you don't want to, that's your choice. But I'm not going to breed dogs for worldly possessions. And so you've never seen that in our videos. In fact, our videos, 98% of them don't even have music because I want to hear what's going on with the dog. If that's what I hear, why? Because I like animal behavior. As an animal behaviorist, I need to hear what's going on between the handler, the trainer, and the dog. Now, if you have music in there, you can't do that, okay? But they know that the client doesn't really understand behavior, and so they're going to put those worldly possessions in those videos to try to peddle that dog. And if you need to use those methods, here's my advice to you. Breed better dogs. You don't need that crap when you breed quality animals. We need to prioritize what matters.